I lay me down, let's get this off my chest first. Excerpts of my life, I call it my next verse. I'm stressed, keep it in perspective, I'm an expert about this Northwest way of life, hey, it could end worse.
Welcome in, everyone. This is episode number 26 of UpLeft State of Mind, the podcast where it's okay to not be okay. This is the show that unpacks the pressure, the pain, and the process, from mental health struggles to finding your identity, the healing process, and even ways that we can grow as individuals. There's no fluff, there's no filters, just raw conversations with people who are learning how to hold everything. I'm your host, Rizzle, and whether you're tuned in from somewhere inside the beautiful Pacific Northwest or anywhere else, this is your safe space. It's a place to breathe, and it's a place to remember it's okay to not be okay. A little bit of housekeeping before we get into it. Today's episode is brought to you by Seamless Electrical Solutions. Whether it's wiring, repairs, or full electrical work, Seamless has you covered with quality done right. As a master electrician in Massachusetts, they're committed to keeping your home and business running strong. We're honored to partner with a company that values community and believes in supporting open conversations about mental health. Learn more at seamlesselectricalsolutions.com. Let's get into it. It's been a week since I did an episode. I had somebody that was supposed to be scheduled for Saturday, and that got canceled. So I'm exhausted lately, and I just I'm doing this because I enjoy it, and I'm not trying to have this podcast be a burden to me at all or stress me out. I don't want it to take anything away from me necessarily, as I'm trying to help other people with it. And so I was not feeling like scrambling and putting together an emergency episode last minute. My guest had some things going on in his personal life that he couldn't figure out, last minute how to mentally get through it so that he could handle, what he needed to take care of to get onto the episode. And so, that's fine. But I just, I did the same thing. I couldn't figure out how to handle, enough to get an episode going. So I just took the day, relaxed. And so we're back. I think right now during leaf season, I'm a landscaper. So during the season, during this fall, I think I might just do one episode a week. I'm working like 10, 12 extra, 13, 14 extra hours of overtime every week. And it's just exhausting. I don't have time to do all the other crap at home afterwards with the podcast, and so I still want to put out good content for you guys. I don't want to rush it or anything. So we're just going to do one episode a week for the next month or so. Without further ado, though, I would like to introduce my guest. We have a great musician. We have an inspiring story. He's just a very nice dude. Super cool dude, super interesting individual, and I would like to introduce you guys to Rodney Scholl. Rodney Scholl, man, that's the one thing that it's like with me, I'm so scared to say somebody's name wrong, even knowing that I know how to say your fucking last name, bro. And so I was like, man, how do I say it? Do I ask him first? I had Ari on the podcast, my buddy Ari on the podcast, and I even asked him before. I'm like, how do you say your last name? Is it Andrade? So anyways, man, it's great to have you on. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
What's up, y'all? I'm Rodney Scholl. Some people have mistaken it for Skull or School before.
That's why I was like,
but Scholl. I'm a local hip hop artist here in McMinnville. I go by Rodney the Alien. I'm lived in McMinnville all my life, and I'm very excited to be on this podcast because, as I was telling Rizzle, a lot of my music goes hand in hand with mental health. A lot of my music is about being yourself and embracing who you are. That's why I'm Rodney the Alien. I've always felt like I stood out, but I used to want to fit in, but now I'm like, no, I'm happy I stand out.
Yeah. And that's cool, man. That's something that I've noticed about your music is it's very like self-empowering and it like inspires people, I feel like, to not be afraid to do what needs to be done, like regardless if you got to do it by yourself or no matter you got one person in your circle or 30 people in your circle or whatever the case is. yeah, it's good stuff. It's inspiring.
Well, like I say, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do it on my own. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I am scared doing it, but I'm still gonna do it regardless.
Exactly. Jose Gaeta in the chat, the homie Zay. Here
What
to
up,
watch,
Zay?
brother. What's up, Zay? How you doing, man? I hope I didn't fuck your name up too, bro. We had Zay on the podcast. That was an awesome conversation. Check that one out if you guys haven't seen that one yet. So, what inspired you to? Let's take it back to the beginning with your music. What inspired you to get into music?
So, growing up, my music journey. I mean, before I even got into music, I was into bands like I really like Bowling for Soup. I like Linkin Park. I like 3 Days Grace. I like Beastie Boys. A lot of my music taste came from playing Guitar Hero.
Okay.
And honestly, I wasn't really that big of a rap fan. I was ignorant back then. I was just a kid, but I was like, oh, hip hop's just a bunch of cussing and all that.
Yeah.
And then one day, my cousin showed me the song "Not Afraid" by Eminem, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. He's actually saying something. And then ever since I heard that song, I was hooked. I got super into music. Around that time was like one of the hardest times of my life. I was 11 years old, and so I have OCD, and I have pretty severe OCD. It was a lot worse when I was younger. I used to wash my hands constantly, and my hands would like crack and bleed. And I was in 6th grade at the time, and I mean, I was bullied my whole life as a kid, but 6th grade is when it got the worst, especially because of my hands. I would always be made fun of for that. So I started using music as an outlet, and to hopefully help people, to tell my story, to get my what I'm going through out. And the first song I ever released was a song called The Addiction, about my OCD.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure you know him. Some people watching might know him. But the person who helped me record that first song was my stepbrother Seth Case, aka Sticky.
Sticky,
So
shout out
to
Sticky.
him.
Yep. Yeah, damn, that's a blast from the past. I was always a fan of his music for sure. So how old were you when you first like wrote your first song?
I was 11.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. Were you able to record anything? Like how old were you when you recorded? Same?
I think so. About
Okay.
11,
That's
12.
crazy. That's crazy. And that just kind of gave you an instant like outlet that you felt like, wow, like this is like doing something for me. Like I'm able to, because like people like journal and stuff like that, but like this would like felt like that form of something to you.
Yeah, I feel like before I started writing music, I never really actually had an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started writing music, it's just like I just knew that was it. Like, I mean, you try out a bunch of different things in life. When I was younger, my dad's a huge sports guy. He wanted me to be an athlete, which I mean, I tried sports, but it just wasn't me. But when I found music, I knew that was my thing.
Yeah. Shout out to Pops.
Yeah.
So real quick, if you guys are watching over on Facebook or on Twitch, jump over to the YouTube channel and give us a sub. If you want to catch some more episodes, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps out the show a lot. So so tell us a little bit about your past with your mental health. You said you had OCD. When was the first time you like started to notice some shit like that was going on?
I'd say when I was like about 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
As well as OCD, I also have Asperger's, which is autism and ADHD. So, growing up with that stuff has been difficult for me. I'm high functioning autistic, but it was more evident when I was younger. You could tell I was autistic, but I was always high functioning. And those things have always held me back in my life, holds me back today, as a father, at work, with music. it still gets in my way, but I've worked with it and I've overcame a lot of it. I'm not as OCD as I used to be. I don't really wash my hands anymore. It's more of like a overthinking thing
Right.
for me. But I'm working on that. Along with OCD comes anxiety. Um, I've had tons of depression throughout my life. I've never attempted suicide, but I've thought of it millions of times. Thankfully, lately, I haven't really uh, had those thoughts or really have gone too deep into a depression.
Hmm.
I feel mostly it's because of my son. I'm not just living for myself now. I'm living for somebody else. And, I could never take having a father away from my son. So I've I've dealt with a lot of mental health struggles, but I've feel like I've been strong headed enough to overcome some of that and keep myself going, and I'm working on it every single day.
Hmm. There's a lot in there that I want to touch on. But like, just first off, I want to just, you talked about like suicidal thoughts and stuff, and I just want to remind like everyone, if you are feeling some kind of way, or you feel like you need to talk to somebody or anything like that, just reach out to someone. Don't hesitate to reach out. And I think that some people get embarrassed or scared. Everyone thinks about maybe what it would be like if you weren't around or something, but like those thoughts are not as rare as people might think, and it's not like something that you need to be embarrassed or scared of. Um, as long as you're not thinking about like actual ways to carry that stuff out. If you just like, man, this really sucks. Like, it will sure be good if it would be a lot easier if I wasn't here. It's not like talk to somebody about it. Don't get me wrong, but don't be embarrassed or, ashamed of having those thoughts, because I think a lot of people go through them. A lot more people go through those feelings than what people think. And so, yeah, don't be afraid to reach out. But um so what was it like finding out, what was it like as a kid, as a teenager, to find out that you have this stuff going on, and what was it like to try to deal with it, like in school and uh just in general, kind of? I mean, because that's like, I mean, because you're like, you notice that something's going on, but then you start to get some answers. So like, it's kind of like, oh, like, yes, there is something, that needs to be diagnosed, but there's also ways that we can move forward now, like.
So I don't know. I don't really think I thought too much about it when I was younger. Like when I was like little, I don't know. I think I kind of just like ignored it in a way. I mean, obviously, when the OCD hit and I started getting bullied in school and stuff, that I was definitely thinking about it then. But I feel like nowadays I kind of pay attention to how it affects my life more than I ever have.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, I probably just felt more like down about it,
Yeah.
felt sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like I'm actually really like considering how it affects me and how I can not let it hold me back in my
Hmm.
everyday life.
Hmm. um yeah, that's my son has got bullied, and it's not a fun thing to deal with, and to like see happening, and I got picked on in school and stuff, and I think it's kind of funny to me, because like, you don't see it then while it's happening to you, but like, the same people that picked on me in school um are the same people that want to be my friend, like they want to like they want to support what I'm doing now, and like all that, and it's just like, I hate bullies, man. If people would just chill out with the comparisons and all the negative stuff and the trying to poke fun at people for just being, and kids for just being different and all that stuff. How how did you deal with getting bullied? Like, did you just like ignore it, or I mean, because I told my son, if they keep messing with you, bro, and you can punch them in the face, and I like the if they keep like, and I've already told the school, like, my son, if you do not do something about him getting bullied, I give him permission to do something, type shit. Like,
There was a couple times I tried standing up for myself, and I was actually the one who got in trouble for it.
and that sucks, man, so bad.
I'm honestly not really too much of a confrontational person. I kind of try to avoid drama as much as I can. So I probably didn't stand up for myself as much as I should. Nowadays, I still don't really stand up for myself as much as I should. But I don't know, like it, I was mostly just really hard on myself, feeling
Yeah,
sorry for myself.
yeah,
It still affects me to this day. All the trauma I've went through. I'm honestly a very insecure person. I mean, you know, not like 100%, I'm confident.
yeah,
I believe in myself, but there's a lot of like I have a lot of anxiety with a lot of things. And like even nowadays, like yeah, as you were saying, I feel like everyone got picked on as a kid, and it's like they always say bullies pick on you because they're not happy with themselves. Hold on, let me
yeah,
turn my phone
yeah.
off real
Oh,
quick.
no worries, no worries. Um,
But so yeah, um, and I mean, even as adults, I feel like there's still bullies. It's not like really how it was when you were a kid, where you show up and they corner you and push you around and call you names. But it's like even at where I work, my disabilities affect me at work sometimes, and I'm not able to perform the way I want to. But I'm trying every single day,
right.
and sometimes people notice your mistakes more than your efforts. And I have a couple coworkers who will point out my mistakes, and sometimes like they're constantly doing it,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel like I'm getting bullied, and like I'm just like it makes what I'm doing even more difficult because I'm trying to go in every day being like, "Oh, I can do this. I got it today."
Yeah.
And then right before my day starts, they're like, "Oh, are you going to mess up this time?" I'm like, "Well, shit. Maybe I
You're like, I
am."
guess I am like,
Yeah.
yeah. That's tough. And people don't realize that, like, even if like in their mind, oh, we're just joking or we're just giving them a heart, like, people don't realize that shit affects you.
I
You
mean,
know?
I give so many people at my job shit too. We all give each other shit, which that's fine,
Yeah.
but you got to know like the line,
Mm-hmm.
not cross the line. Like if I actually like I give people shit, but it's like if I see someone's actually struggling, I go up to them and I make sure they're doing well, make sure they're not getting too stressed out, help them if I can.
Yeah.
And like I give people a lot of shit, but I don't give them shit in a way where it's going to make them feel insecure about their work.
Right. You're not trying to belittle anyone or,
No.
yeah. Um, that has to be tough for sure. What what outlets do you have? I mean, I know you said music. Do you have any other outlets that you use?
Um well, and I feel like one of my outlets is being a father. I had my son at a very young age, and I was 20. I didn't have my own place. I wasn't ready to be a father, but things happen the way they happen.
Mhm.
And you know, he learns a lot from me, but I learn a lot from him. I always say we're growing together. We're learning from each other, and just being there for someone in that way is really like refreshing and healing to me. um helping someone out in a way where they truly appreciate. Kids, they don't always appreciate. They don't understand, but it's like
But like they know who's giving them food. They know
Mhm.
that you're the one that's keeping them alive, and you're the one. Yeah, like they feel that shit for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that brings me peace, even though being a father is no walk in the park.
Right.
But that is one thing that other than my music, it's music's a challenge too. And I like challenges, and having somewhere to be able to put my love, my passion into,
Mhm.
that's what makes me happy.
Mhm. Um. Do you do you think that your son's gonna do music too?
I mean, possibly you've seen him on
Yeah,
stage with me
yeah.
a few times. He gets up there, he performs with me. He loves music. I bought him a drum set for his birthday one year.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him signed up for drumming lessons, but I think the closest place is like out in Portland, and that's a little far.
Yeah.
So
Plus that most of the instrument lessons are like weekly or like a couple times a week or
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I still really want to find them drumming lessons. So if anyone knows anyone
Yeah, yeah,
who
hit him up.
can do drumming lessons, hit me up,
Yep.
because I'd love to get him into that. He also likes sports, so we'll just see what he sticks with. But I mean, he loves music. It's
Yeah.
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I've tried. I wanted to do a remix with him to Stun Like My Daddy,
Uh-huh.
but like I didn't want to write his verse for him, so I was like, okay, I want you to try to like think of some lines, just say like a sentence or something,
Yeah.
and I'll edit it and shape it
Yeah.
to an
Yeah.
actual verse. But it's like he was like, nah, I think you got
Not
anxiety
yet.
about
Yeah.
it, so.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, that's how I try to get my kid to get up on stage with me. And 'cause I see everybody else's kids, Dopey's got his kid that gets up on stage with him, and you got your kid that gets up on stage, and then Cody Nash has his kids up on stage with him and stuff. And I'm like, Carter, come on, man, you know all my work. Like, you don't even have to do anything. Just get up there with me. Like, it'll be good for you, because he has anxiety and stuff too. But he's like, no, I'm not doing it, man. Nope.
So I got a story about that. So one of my a one of my friends, Wavy Davy, he has a few songs my son really loves, and he has this one song called Earthquake. And I sent Wavy a video of my son on this like rocky bridge like thing,
Mm-hmm.
and my son singing a song. And my friend Wavy had a show coming up that was all ages. He's like, hey, come through, bring your son, and I'll put him on stage with me.
Was that
So,
the one just up here in Portland or wherever it was?
no, it was a while ago.
Oh.
I forgot what the venue was called. I've only ever been there once, but my so this concert was big. There's like hundreds of people in the crowd. Um, Before he calls my son on stage, my son's throwing some fit over a game on the phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he calls my son on the stage. I'm like, oh, this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
And then so
Yeah.
I hand him over to my friend, and they're singing the song, and my son's just like frozen,
Yeah.
like doesn't know what to do. So that his first time being on stage, he had quite a bit of anxiety. And then I got invited to do an all ages show, and I was like, well, this is the perfect chance to perform with my son.
Yeah.
So I was nervous he was gonna freeze up again and be all nervous, but man, he killed it.
Yeah.
Like he went off.
That's awesome.
My dad was like, I think your son did a better job than you did.
Speaking of him, Randy Scholl in the chat says, "Oh yeah,
What up, Pops?
what up, Pops? Shout out, Pops." So this is about the time in the episode where I like to ask my guest about a rock bottom moment. And I mean, it can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be your your worst rock bottom moment. It can be if you want to. I mean, some people like to share more than others. I don't have a preference on what you share, whatever you're comfortable with. We're just trying to set the stage so that we can, provide some relatability to some people that go through something similar. But I mean, it could be anything. Rock bottom. I feel like people have many rock bottom moments, and rock bottom to some is like sometimes it's a slow burn, sometimes it happens right away. So I mean,
So, I honestly, I feel like I've had many rock bottom moments, but one that really came to mind is, so with, I feel like people with autism, they have a really hard time regulating their emotions, dealing with their emotions. They get overwhelmed and they have meltdowns, and relationships have always been really hard for me because of my insecurities, me not being confident in myself. And then I had this one relationship that was super hard on me. Um, I don't hit people. I'm not violent in that way, but in this relationship, I was pretty verbally abusive. And I don't hit people, but I do have a cow moment sometimes and hit inanimate objects.
Oh, I
And
punched a wall. Maybe we all
yeah,
punch a wall or
I mean,
something.
we all have, but
Yeah.
I've done it quite a few times.
Yeah.
But so anyways, yeah, so I was pretty verbally abusive, which I am not proud of. And there was one time when I got so upset, I punched a hole in my bedroom door, but it wasn't just one hole. Well, it wasn't just one punch. It was like a big, huge hole made by a bunch of punches.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I blew up, and that was like made me realize, I need to really be careful about, situations I'm in, the energy I'm around, what, be conscious of what kind of stuff brings that out in me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a learning moment. I mean, I was still a hothead after that, but like after the fact, time removed, looking back at it, I've been able to find ways to calm myself down
Mm-hmm.
and find a little more peace to where I don't get myself to that level.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you do, like if you're starting to feel like that, to chill it out a little bit?
I walk away from the situation. I give myself time to think about my response to certain things. And yeah, I mean, it's a taking the time to heal kind of thing, one step at a time. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
It's tough, especially in the heat of the moment. I have trouble with that too. Sometimes I get, one little thing happens, and then another little thing, and then it gets to the point where I'm like, I just want to freak out, but it's like it does something to you when you resist that. When you resist that urge, I think, and I've read, I don't know the exact science or chemistry behind it or any of that, but like they say that it does something to rewire the way that you work when you can resist that outburst, that anger outburst, when when you feel, and you're like, hold on, let's not freak, let's not let those emotions out, like, and it does something to you. So like that, I try to be more conscious of that lately, for sure.
Well, that's why I was saying, it's like it's a time thing, because you're talking about it rewiring your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like um my I mean, I think it comes from my disabilities, but also me getting to the point where I'm freaking out like that also comes from my traumas and stuff. It's a mixture of my disabilities and my traumas.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so that stuff wired my brain to be a certain way.
Yep.
Now I'm taking the time to learn to find my peace so I can rewire my brain
Mm-hmm.
to figure out how to be able to keep myself calm.
Yeah. Has that not the rewiring it or anything, but like that anger, how does that like affect your, how has that affected your relationships, I should say?
Um, well,
Not to be like you have an anger problem, but like, I mean, having a rock bottom moment like that and stuff, like it would, I mean, I imagine that it would, have a bit of an effect on relationships, or, like I have trouble sometimes with in multiple relationships with people, just like coworkers or people around me, just like with the things that I deal with inside. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I don't really get to that point unless it's like people I'm really close with that, I've deep roots with, deep rooted emotions and all that.
isn't that crazy too, how that works?
Yeah.
How like the ones that you care about the most are the ones that you will take it out on the most, or the easiest, I should say. Yeah. At least for me, sometimes like that's, and I'm like, why? Because I feel comfortable with that person, so then I'm gonna like take it. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, but and like I said, I'm not a very confrontational person, so I'm like, with a lot of people, I'm really not like that. But it definitely does affect relationships. I mean, if someone really loves you, they'll be able to look past it for the most part,
Right.
but sometimes it gets to a certain point where it's like, okay, it's just too much.
Yeah. Well, that's cool that I'm just trying to think about, because like I've had to work on stuff like that too, for sure. What do you got? What do you got as far as music do you have any music that reflects kind of like that battle at all, or like anything like that?
I don't. I have had this idea. I mean, I've worked on it a little bit. It's not the project I'm working on right now, but it's one that will come in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the project, kind of like a Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers kind of thing,
Okay.
where it's kind of like a therapy session where I'm really like talking about all my like traumas and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then a breakthrough at the end. But I do have a project at some point where I really want to dive in and get vulnerable and really talk about that kind of stuff.
Yep. That's cool. I have so many songs that I was just thinking about that the other day. Actually, I have an entire mixtape that I never released from like 2012, 2013. And it was just like, I mean, I needed to make it, apparently, and I had all this stuff that I needed to get out, and then I didn't release it, but it was therapeutic to me for sure. And so like it's so good to get that shit out in one way or another.
Well, I mean, you don't even have to put it out sometimes. Sometimes it just helps to just make it
Mm-hmm.
and have that. I mean, I don't know exactly who it was, but I mean, I've heard of artists doing that before, where they just make the music for
Yeah.
themselves. I mean, that's what we make the music for ultimately. I mean, we do make music for other people, but like the reason we create is for ourselves,
No, yeah, totally. I get it. Yeah. And on a side note to that mixtape, I just want everyone to know, I posted about this the other day. That mixtape was called the Charismatic Mixtape. You see what I did there, right? That's 2012. Charismatic, Riz is in the middle. I spelt it like that. CHARIZZMAT. And so like people, that's what Riz means nowadays, is charisma.
Oh, really?
When you got Riz, it's you
yeah,
have charisma, right? And so I created that 14 years ago, right? And then the world just caught up. So that was just a little side note. I want everyone to know that I created that. I have Riz tattooed on my neck, and it's from 20 years ago. I made this shit up a long time ago. You guys It's mine.
You know what?
Copywritten.
You know what's funny about that? So my nickname for a long time has been Tiz or
Mhm.
Tizzy. I've even been called Tizzle.
Yeah.
And back in the years ago, I don't even like a decade ago, one of my homies came up to me, is like, "Oh, what's up, Rodney? You still got autism?" And ever since then, my nickname has been Tiz, Tism, Tizzy, whatever. And you know, ever since then, I've been making jokes about being autistic. And if you look at social media nowadays, they're always like, "Oh, this autism." People are talking all about autism, so I started the autism wave.
Yeah, we're just a couple pioneers over here, man. So we talked about some trauma and stuff. What's one of your triumphs in life that you're really proud of?
One thing that I am really proud of that I worked really hard at is I got my GED last year at 25 years old, which I feel like is pretty late to get your GED, but school was always a tough thing for me. When I was younger, um I I was good at school. I was into school. I was really good at math when I was younger, but I feel like around the time when I really started getting bullied more, I kind of lost interest in school, and the social aspect of school became more important to me than the actual academics.
Mm-hmm.
And so that got on the way, and I went about the whole social aspect the wrong way. Instead of like actually just trying to be chill and like get to know people, whatever, I decided to become a class clown, always disruptive and stuff. And I feel like a lot of that came from you know, people would always tell me I'm annoying or something. So I'm like, "Oh, all right, you think I'm annoying? Well, I'll fucking show you what annoying is
Yeah.
like."
Yeah.
So yeah, so school is always hard for me. And I actually skipped 5th grade, but once high school came around, I think I was in my sophomore year. I was just so behind that's like I I would have ended up having to stay at school for another year or so.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I could either go to school for a very long time or I could drop out and get my GED. So I decided to go for my GED. I passed my English test really easy because that's super easy for me. But I passed my science and my history pretty quickly too. Those were a little bit more challenging, but like it took me like 5 years to get my math
Yeah.
test done.
Yeah.
That was really hard for me. I took the test like 3 or 4 times. I think I took it 3 times, and the third time was the charm, and I finally got my GED at 25. So
Hey, let's
I never gave
go.
up. It was super hard, but I did it, and I'm proud of that.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. We got a round of applause going for you right now. You can't hear it. You can't hear it because I don't have 2 sets of headphones. So, but that's dope. I too am a fellow GED in. I didn't graduate high school either. But life happens, shit happens, and so we just act accordingly. And I got to it when it needed to be done. So that's pretty cool that you were able to close that chapter, and that gave you a sense of, that had to give you some sense of pride and accomplishment and self-worth, finally getting that done. Math's a tough thing for a lot of people. What's your favorite performance that you've ever done or show that you've been a part of?
So it's funny, I was just thinking of this. Another accomplishment or triumph, that I'm really proud of is there's been like 3 times at a show where had the whole crowd chanting my name. And that it was very surreal, I think the word would be, because it's like, growing up as this kid who thinks like everyone hates me, nobody likes me, nobody cares about me, to see a whole crowd chanting my name,
Yeah.
like loving me, that's fucking awesome. So it would be one of those shows. My homie Icy had this release show for his album, and like I didn't even have a set on that. We just did our one song together, but that shit was fucking crazy. So I love that moment. Also, um, one of my homies, K-Pin, he does a bunch of shows out in Portland. He's doing shows every single month, multiple shows. He has this movement going on called Realist on the Rise.
Mm-hmm.
And his the first show of his that I was ever on is was one of my favorite moments. My grandpa was there. It was his first time seeing me perform, and he doesn't like hip hop. Growing up, when I first started getting into hip hop, he used to call Snoop Dogg shit, or Snoop pussy, because of when he was Snoop Lion. And he was like, "Oh man, that was great." So to have my grandpa, who doesn't even care about hip hop, love
Yeah.
my performance and be
That's
proud.
awesome.
That was awesome. And I think that was another show where the whole crowd was chanting my name.
Mm-hmm.
And then one other show, um, last year I had a show for my birthday, and it was my own show. I put all my best friends on it, and it was just a great turnout. We made like $400, and I was there's these random people sitting there before the show even started. I'm like, "Oh, where are you guys up to tonight?" They're like, "Oh, we came out to check out this artist, Rodney the Alien." I'm like, "Oh, I'm Rodney the Alien."
Yeah.
I'm like, "How'd you hear about me?" And they're like, "Oh, we just saw in front of the venue, it said that someone was performing. We listened to the music. We thought it was cool. So we came." And then as I was walking in, I there's this like group of young adults. I'm like, "Hey, there's a cool hip hop show going on downstairs if you want to come check it out." So they came down there and checked it out, and I was performing, and these two chicks started grinding on me. I'm like, "Damn, this is a pretty cool moment." It was funny. This one of the chicks, she was with this guy. She told me it wasn't actually her boyfriend. I don't know, but she started dancing on me, and the guy got all upset.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you stole that you stole that guy's girlfriend." I'm like, "Oh, whatever." I mean, I don't think that kind of stuff's cool, but it's just like the whole like it was just like, "Oh, damn, I feel like an actual rapper."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? My rock star moment.
Right. That's awesome. So what do you have to say to other people with autism that are struggling?
Well, um the there are some people with autism who, like, for lack of a better word, are retarded. And I don't mean to say that word in an offensive way. Um, but like I don't see uh autism as like an actual like retardation. I see it more as like a social retardation, because I think it really like affects your social skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's makes it hard for you. You don't really think like other people. It's uh it's hard to understand how other people work.
Like social cues and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
That, to me, that's a lot of what autism is,
Mm-hmm.
at least from my experience. Autism is a spectrum, so the experience is different for a lot of
Right.
other people.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, it's really been a social thing. And so growing up, like I said, felt like I never fit in. Um, Always wanted to be like other people. I just I just couldn't be, because I am who I am. I am how I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, my advice would, just be proud of who you are. Um don't let these other people, who probably are all the same, all following a trend, get you down, because they're just carbon copies of each other. Be proud that you're different, and that you're you. You probably have a great ability because people with autism have this tendency to lock in on this one thing. And so, if you're autistic, you're probably fucking awesome at one thing,
Right.
and just lock in, focus on that one thing. And yeah, just be proud to be you 100%. Don't care what other people think, as long as you're you have good intentions. That's all that really matters.
Hell yeah. What is something what's something that has something positive that has happened to you in your life that you don't feel like would have happened had you not been autistic? Does that make sense?
Say that one more time.
Like what is something that's positive that has happened in your life to you from being autistic that you don't feel would have happened if you weren't?
So, growing up, my mom, she would always send me to these like autistic summer camps. And so I've been around a lot of people with disabilities. I've seen, different levels of autism. I've, I've seen all different kinds of people. And, I feel like that has helped me get a deeper understanding of people, like seeing, it's one thing to see, you know, neurotypical people. You see neurotypical people every day
Yeah.
and see how they think or how they act, but to be around people whose brains work completely different, you can really see like the different sides of humanity.
Yeah.
And it has helped me, create more empathy and understanding. And one thing I always like to say is everyone has some kind of disability. Everyone has some kind of mental challenge, something that holds them back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not nobody is really actually neurotypical. We all have something going on.
Oh yeah.
And so, just seeing all these different disabilities has been able to help me like think more deeply about what an average everyday person is going through. But like mostly what I'm saying, the positive thing is though that I'm happy that I've experienced that I feel like I probably wouldn't have experienced if I wasn't autistic,
Mm-hmm.
is that I have been able to meet these people and have an appreciation for them.
Yep.
Not judge them, see them for who they truly are, and be
Mhm.
able to see past that, and be able to see certain things in just everybody I meet.
Yep. And a lot of people don't have that ability to even just recognize people for more than face value, and so like that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing to be able to see people, to relate to people, and um yeah, neurotypical, I don't think that's a real thing. I think that's a fake made up word.
I agree.
I think that's a fake made up word. Nobody's neurotypical. Man. What's your favorite song that you've made?
Um, I think it'd probably be my song On My Own. Um, I've really been liking my song Go Big lately. I mean, that's just a banger, but I really like On
Go
My
big
Own.
or go home.
Yeah. I really like On My Own though, because I feel like it really like uh encapsulates what I represent,
Mhm.
and in a not like so on the nose kind of way. Like I have a song called Self Love, which is a great song, but it's just like so like on the nose, like, oh, I love
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, right.
But like On My Own,
I just had a
that
spider crawling on my neck.
damn,
Crazy.
looks like a gnarly one too.
Yeah, spider crawling on my neck.
But yeah, so On My Own, that's just a banger too. I feel like when I made On My Own is when I'm like, okay, like I've been making music for a long time,
Mhm.
but trying to actually really get my sound and formula down
Yep.
has been hard for me, even regardless of how long I've been making it. But when I made On My Own and I heard the end product, I'm like, this is, I think I found it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that song just touches on a whole bunch of different things, like, people giving me shit, being assholes to me, doubting me. It's just me putting the middle finger up and saying, I'm gonna do it regardless.
Mhm.
And one thing that one thing that my favorite Tupac album is Me Against the World. That whole music video for that song, all of it, the whole thing's a Tupac reference. And
Okay.
I have a line in the song where I say, all my life they've betted against me. And that's me saying, like, it's me against the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's just the kind of energy I've been on ever since. And my three main musical inspirations lately when it comes to hip hop has been Tupac, Kendrick Lamar, and Pusha T, because I feel like they all kind of have that energy, like, oh, they want me to be this way, they want me to be that way, but fuck that, fuck the industry, fuck what anybody else thinks. I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna tell my truth.
Yeah.
And that's just like, that's just like what I've been going for lately, instead of just being like, oh yeah, peace, love yourself, kind of in a kiddish way. It's
Right.
like it's turned into more of like like a little more gritty
Well, it's like
and grimy.
like sure, like peace, like love, but like if you don't want that, like that doesn't have to go that way
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It's
if you're
more
not
like,
cool with that, we can do the other
It's-
thing as well.
it's I feel like it's me getting to that point where I'm standing up for
Yep.
myself. You know what I mean?
Yep. Hell yeah. That's cool. We need to do a song together, man.
Oh yeah, this project I'm working on that I was telling you about. I think you would fit the concept pretty well. So I'm not the kind of person to where it's like, oh, I want to make a song with this person, let me whip up a song real quick. I like it to be more natural.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for for that one song where I'm like, oh yeah, this is the one I got to get him on. So
Cool.
I'm definitely have you in mind
Cool.
as a feature for this
Cool.
project.
Yep. Well, hit me up, send it my way. What does Rodney advocate for?
Well, mental health awareness, disability awareness, self-love. I advocate for accepting our differences and unity. We live in a time where we're very divided, and I feel like people are feeling pressured to pick a side. And like, if you don't see things the way I see it, then fuck you. And I don't really think that's the way things should be. I think we need to learn to agree to disagree, and instead of arguing with each other, we need to put our heads together and try to figure out something that we could both be happy with, instead of being so stubborn and stuck in our ways. And I feel like that all kind of goes back to the whole self-love thing, because once you truly love yourself and you're confident with yourself, you're not going to let anybody else's ideas threaten yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's such a I love that, man. I love that. And it's such a weird concept for people to, when people disagree, they generally will butt heads and then go the other way. Or it's like, you need to change your thoughts and think my way, or you're wrong. But what you just said is what everyone needs to try to do. And that is like, we can come together and we can disagree. Let's recognize that we disagree, which we do now. But then rather than what we do now, let's find common ground. Let's find a middle area where we can compromise, and we can find somewhere where we can agree on. And I think you hit that fucking right on the head.
Yeah, that's just the kind of person I am. I'm a Libra, so I'm all about the balance.
Mhm.
I always try to see both sides of things. I hear something and I don't immediately just like come up with an opinion about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, it could be this way, but it could also be that way. They say there's three sides to every story: that person's side, and the
And
truth.
yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you want to leave with the people before we get you out of here?
New music on the way, hopefully. I am starting to put plans together for my next music video. It's going to be for Go Big. It's going to be a sports themed music video.
Nice.
So I'm very excited for that. The homie Alabaster will be filming that. Actually, he's from McMinnville too.
Okay.
He's the one who did the video for On My Own. So
Okay.
I'm super excited to be working with him again and get that done. And yeah,
If you guys want some footage, you guys want some footage inside Moda Center, I got tickets. We could go to a game, man.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah. I can't get you on the court, but I can get you in the arena. Cool. Yeah. So where can people find you?
On Instagram at Tizzy Not Busy. That's TIZZY, not BIZZY. I'm on all stream platforms. Rodney the Alien, no spaces. Same as YouTube. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if you guys are on Facebook or Twitch right now, do us a favor and head over to the YouTube channel and hit that sub button. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. Hit that like button. If this episode resonated with you at all, please share it with a friend. Everyone needs to hear something. We just might be the place to say it. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more episodes. And remember, it's okay to not be okay. Tell somebody that you love them. Have fun on Halloween tomorrow night, guys. Be safe out there. Get a bunch of candy. Parents, make sure that you quality check your kids' candy for poison. Make sure you take at least 40% of the candy because that is the scientific ratio of what might be poisonous or not. Rodney, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you. And I think that's it. Next episode's next week. That's all the details that I have right now. And if you want to go to the Pint and Stevie Stone show, hit me up. I still have a bunch of tickets, $10 a piece. I might even hook you up with the deal if you buy more than one. That's Saturday at the Tiki Lounge, 8 p.m., 7 p.m., something like that. Just be there. Halloween costume party, $100 cash prize. So that's it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate you guys. We'll see ya.
Peace.